Insidious Interest, written by Ben-Tzion Spitz, narrated by Jennifer Kahen.
How can Moses just make my money disappear?
Penuel pounded the table with his heavy fist.
It's my money!
Judge Nethaniel calmly observed old rotund Penuel. Young Rakhar sat on the other side of Penuel, hugging himself and looking at Penuel apprehensively. The three of them were the only ones in Nethaniel's tent. A line of people with other complaints and arguments waited outside the tent in the Israelite desert encampment. "That is now the law, Penuel," Nethaniel answered dryly.
"But how can Moses just suddenly change the law?" Penuel demanded. "We've been doing business like this since before we left Egypt. Isn't that so, Rakhar?"
"Yes, sir," Rakhar answered sheepishly.
"There, you see? Even the borrower admits it. Tell the judge again how much you owe me."
50 silvers, sir."
"State the whole amount, boy," Penuel commanded.
"Plus another 10 silvers interest," Rakhar mumbled. "Interest is no longer allowed," Nethaniel stated matter-of-factly. "Rakhar only owes you 50 silvers. The law of God is clear. No interest, not for old loans, not for new loans, not with different metals, not even with this shameful obsequiousness Rakhar is showing you. Sit up straight, man," Nethaniel spoke to Rakhar. "You just owe the principal amount, nothing more. To show subservience or any other display of bondage is tantamount to interest. You owe him 50 silvers. That is it."
"What do you mean?"
Penuel roared. His spittle splattered across the tent. Rakhar cringed and edged his chair away from Penuel. Nethaniel wiped the spit off his face nonchalantly. "What don't you understand, Penuel? I will explain it again if you didn't comprehend my words the first time.
He owes me everything. Everything he has is mine. This ungrateful mutt should grovel even further in my presence."
"You have it all wrong, Penuel. God does not see lending as a business."
"Not a business? Then what else is it? Charity?"
"Yes. Lending is a social good. You lend to someone in need, and the only thing you can expect in return is the money you gave them and their simple gratitude."
"This will ruin me!"
"No, Penuel. This will save you. Look at yourself, yelling and screaming over money that is not yours, which you did not earn, lording it over others, expecting obedience from your brothers, and even worse, getting it. You have become a social monster. Thanks to you, I now see the wisdom of this law."
"A monster? I am the biggest beneficiary to my brethren. Without me, where would they be? Rakhar here cannot marry this beautiful bride. The blacksmiths will not be able to buy metal for their work. The jewelers will not be able to make the bracelets and necklaces that adorn our daughters' necks. Business and commerce would come to a standstill."
"That may be true, but that system is now coming to an end. You were enslaving people. You were encouraging people to borrow when you knew it would be difficult for them to repay you. They lived in fear and false homage of you." From outside the tent they heard a commotion. The entrance to the tent opened. A short but lithe woman entered. She was dressed in a long robe of deep purple, with threads of gold running down its length. 2 tall, bulky men stood at either side of her.
"Marta!"
Penuel threw himself to the floor. He grabbed the hem of her robe and started kissing it.
I'm sorry I'm late with the payment. It's all these bloodsuckers. I'm about to straighten things out. Just give me a little more time."
"Get up, you sniveling dog!" Marta kicked Penuel in the face. Penuel backed away as blood dripped from his nose. "What is the meaning of this interruption?" Nethaniel demanded. "I see I must take matters into my own hands. What is this business I hear about? No more interest? You are joking, of course." "It is no joke. I take it you are heavily involved in this business."
"Heavily involved?
This bloated pig alone owes me over 1,000 silvers, and I intend to collect it all, including interest. The alternative may be unpleasant." "You dare make threats in a court of law?" "I am my own law, and I have the power to enforce it." Marta nodded at her 2 companions. "Those days are over. We've been waiting for you to reveal yourselves." "Whatever do you mean?" "You have taken advantage of your poor brethren for too long. Law is what guides us now, God's law, and you will abide by it.
whether you like it or not."
"We shall see about that. Guidel? Nikiel?" Marta pointed at Penuel. "Take this buffoon with us and let us settle our own affairs."
"Not so fast, Marta. You are not the only one with assistance." Nathaniel put his fingers in his mouth and whistled a sharp, quick note. Within seconds, the tent flap opened and 6 gargantuan men, each bigger than both Guidel and Nikiel, entered and surrounded those in the tent. "Please escort Marta and her 2 friends to confinement. We shall then discuss their case with Moses and take appropriate action." Guidel and Nikiel did not struggle as men grabbed them from either side. Marta resisted and kicked up dust as she was dragged out of the tent. "How can you do this?" she shrieked. "You are no different than me. You are always using force to have your way." "I am different. My force is sanctioned by God." "Wait, I can pay you. Here, take this." Marta pulled a golden coin out of her robe and flipped it to Nathaniel. Nathaniel caught the coin and instinctively bit it. "Good quality. It will do you no good." He tossed it back to the dust at Marta's feet. "Take her away," Nathaniel ordered as she bent down to pick it up. The 6 guards and their captives exited the tent. Penuel got off the floor and wiped his bleeding nose with a kerchief.
"They would have beaten me. I heard they've done it to others."
"And you have been complicit in these matters." Nathaniel sat back down.
"Yes, I have been wrong. I see it now. My greed got me into this business. It was easy money, and then I borrowed more to increase my wealth. What can I do? I owe Marta so much."
"You only owe her the principal, just as Raka and anyone else you lent owe you. When they pay you, you will pay her. In the meantime, I suggest you find a better way to spend your time. I believe that covers everything. If that is all, please ask the next online to come in." Penuel was the first to reach the tent flap. He looked at Rakar, stopped, and held the flap open for him. Rakar smiled shyly. Nathaniel was pleased to see Rakar standing straight. This has been Insidious Interest, written by Ben-Tzion Spitz, narrated by Jennifer Kahen.